Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host Matt Marrera along with the other host
Tristan Walter.
And Tristan Walter, I could ask you what we're doing today, but you could give me a name, I can say a name, and then we can ask the fan base for another name. This movie's been named 3 times, Tristan. So what name would you like to present?
Kaiju Daisenso, Invasion of the Astro-Monsters. Those are the only two I know.
So fuck you, because you just gave 2 different names. One is the Great All-Out Monster War.
What?
And then you gave the American version. Invasion of the Astro-Monster is, I assume because it's on everything now, it's the Toho approved, but that's not what Kaiju Daisenso means.
Right.
Yes. Let me look at the exact. So you just gave. I'm sorry. There's 4 names technically if you're going with a Japanese name, and you're like, I'm like, give me one, and you're like, I'll pick 2.
All right. Well, I gave you one half, and now you get the other half.
All right. Fine. I get yes. So I get Monster Zero and Godzilla versus Monster Zero.
Monster Zero. Okay then.
Both the most American names possible.
Yeah.
And I only say that because, Invasion of the Astro-Monsters sounds pretty Americans thought this up. But, just calling it Monster Zero is what? Did you guys really want to distance yourself from Godzilla that badly?
Yeah.
This was a very strange movie, Tristan, and not even talking about, plot points and things like that, but even its history in the U.S. is very strange, because the movie came out in Japan, right, in the year 1965.
Right.
In America, it came out in 1970, which, yes, so apparently even though, right, the person trying to release the movie in America, I want to find his name because Henry G. Saperstein, when, I'm going to go with Stein though, when he tried to work with Toho, he was like, hey, how about we put in this American actor, and how about we do this and this, and he actually helped them tweak certain elements of the movie before it was released, while in the making process, and then get brought to, somehow that happens, right? All that happens, but it doesn't get brought to America until 1970. How weird is that, right?
Yeah.
What? You know what I'm saying? How in the heck does this thing, get his handiwork? He helps just to make it more, to his eyes, palatable for the American, taste buds, right? For the American market. And then, it's shelved. Wait, what? Really not sure how that got shelved, but it did. Until 1970, which, I don't know. I don't know if it was considered dated at the time. Obviously it's dated now, but I don't know if it was dated at the time. What was strange is that the dub itself, I don't know if the dub, it's funny too, I don't know if the dub was done earlier or done later, to be fair.
Right.
But the dub itself, it comes off as if, for many of the characters, there actually is, a gap in time, where I feel like every dub that I can think of from the 50s and 60s, every actor to me sounded like, hey, what are you doing over here? I don't know, but what are you doing over there? Very much like this, here's looking at you, kid, kind of thing, but, now I hear everyone's voices, and they're just I don't know, it sounded like things were, maybe just the actors that they were choosing to dub over the lines, but it sounded like even the way they spoke was changing.
Yeah.
Which might sound weird, but, I think you know what I mean, right? There was a certain kind of feel to the actors when they spoke in the 50s and 60s dubs, but this dub felt different.
Yeah, inflections are changing over time as they do in, real life too, but it's
and of course, Yeah, no, it's like, well, duh, the inflections are changing, right? Like, everyone's looking at us like, well, duh. But I think it's just crazy to see it to us in real time. Like, as we're watching these movies, as we're doing Friday night movies, as we're seeing these English dubs. Of course, the actor who played, let me find his actual, like, his name, because I want to get it right. His name was, Nick Adams as Glenn. But, Glenn! Tristan, Glenn! So Nick Adams, who played Glenn, he was obviously different, right? He was an American actor that they dubbed over into Japanese for the Japanese version. So in the English version, that was actually him speaking.
Right.
I only make note of that because I think you might remember, Tristan, in some of the older movies we've done, like I think it was King Kong versus Godzilla, in the Japanese version, some people were speaking English, like, hey, what's over there? Yes, we are starboard, right? And then the American dub would then get new actors to dub them over.
Right.
Yeah, so they wouldn't keep that original English, sometimes because it sounded too stilted or too forced or whatever, so they would change even the American actors in the movie. But this guy, because he was picked, or he was at least recommended by Saperstein, he basically was brought in to, like, just say his lines in English. That's why, in my opinion, he sounds so fluid in English.
Right.
Like, you hear his lines in English, and you're like, damn. Like, you're like, this isn't something I've heard before, like, in English, because everyone else is trying to dub over, everyone else's lines, but he's just speaking. So he's doing his lines. Right. Everyone else is like, but what are we going to do about Planet X? Well, I don't know what to tell you about Planet X. And he's just like, what's the deal with all these broads around here? Oh my God. I love it so much. He's like, what's the deal with these broads from Planet X? I mean, what's the deal with Planet X? Is it a planet? Is it an X? Nobody knows. But seriously though, right? Like, how do you feel
Monster Zero
about
is
Planet
a three-headed
X?
Seinfeld.
Yes, that's Ghidorah is three-headed Seinfeld. So how do you feel about Planet X?
I feel worse now.
What?
I feel worse now.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts on this brand new planet that was discovered?
Interesting concept. Planet kind of comes out of nowhere in the solar system, so Earth is like, who the fuck are you?
Which I'm sure Neil deGrasse Tyson loved as a kid.
Probably.
Sure, he was such a huge fan. This movie, all I can, like, when I think of this movie, you hear things like, there's no sound in space, you can't hear things in the void. Yet still, throughout the cosmos, I hear Neil deGrasse Tyson screaming. Just yelling. That's what I hear through the void. I just hear him going, no! Anyway, but yeah, so please, just your feelings on Planet X.
I wish we could have had a little bit more time there instead of hopping back to Earth so much. But,
yeah, and that's because of the budget, baby.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of has to go that way with the plot with the aliens, basically. But it figures the first alien life we come in contact with is hostile. It figures as much.
Well, yes,
why
because
can't
that's
we ever
the nature.
Just run into, other beings in the galaxy that don't want to take over the Earth? Is that so much to ask? I mean, I guess in the 70s, no, I don't know. I don't think that would have been too much to ask.
You know what's literally the only thing I can think of? And I know they were Earth-based, but can I just say one thing?
Uh-huh.
Just Masura. Like, literally those two little tiny, like, they're sitting there and they're just like, we feel like we've What? I know, that's what I said. They are earthbound, like they are Earth, like like beholden. Yes, but still, like they're other beings. They're literally, it's like we feel like we've been greatly disgraced, Tristan. Fuck you, Tristan Walter. Both at the same time. Fuck you.
Yeah, but we already messed that relationship up because, well, we bombed their island. So, the movie. Yeah.
Basically. So. Yeah, right. The movie.
Yeah.
Like literally, we bombed their island. The movie. Like,
the movie.
Oh. Which Godzilla are you talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's basically the book. But seriously, so.
And yet you motherfuckers keep coming back every time something goes wrong and ask for Mothra's help. Well, you know what? You can eat it this time.
I think that's legitimately what happened. Like, Mothra is, it's like, oh, Mothra is tired. No, Mothra is tired. Oh, is it because of all the fighting he's been doing? No, he's tired of your bullshit. Like, why did I hear a clicking sound? We're speaking telepathically. You hear a phone picking up again? It's because we want to diss you in your own mind with earthly things that would make sense to your feeble brain. Click. Boop,
oh, damn.
boop. Well, that was quite frustrating. Yeah, fuck those fairies, right? Like, just glad.
Yet. It's like, hey guys, why didn't they ask for Mothra to come help too? We do not have a number for that monster. What do we call it? I don't know. What do the Earthlings call it? I don't know. All right, forget that one. Maybe they will too.
Yeah, no, legit. Like, do we have the budget for Mothra? We don't even have water. Shut up, man.
We don't have a number for that one.
Oh, my God. They can only count to 2.
Oh, God. No, it can't be binary because that would just be 0 and 1. That would have been funny,
they
though.
Can only, they can only count to 2, which is, isn't that so sad? Like, literally, it's like months are 0, 1, and I'm like, really?
What?
Are we really doing this right now? But
they're computers, Matt.
Beep, boop, boop, up. We are computers. We are the best computers in the galaxy. You can only count up to 2. Shut up.
Shut up.
Which one am I in the room? You're Monster 0, 1, 1, 1. Because there were 3 of them in the room, and he's like, so which one am I, huh?
Yeah.
1 or 2? 1, 1, 1.
1. Touche.
Explodes. Simple math could have just destroyed them. You didn't need that sound.
Oh, God.
But, so one thing I wanted to say is, okay, so we're going to complain a lot about certain, little tiny things in the movie. But I have to say, right, I am super excited that they finally fully went into the idea of sci-fi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy to finally see that we're actually dealing with aliens, and that kind of explains why the monsters... I mean, granted, 2 of them were, Godzilla and Rodan are already from Earth anyway, but, I mean, Ghidorah always felt, it's like, yeah, it's from a meteor, so it coming from space and the other the aliens controlling it kind of felt right in a way.
Well, no, here's the thing, right? The reason why I mentioned sci-fi, like, I know that they flirted with it before. Like, in no way am I saying that they haven't, like, done sci-fi things. Like, obviously the oxygen destroyer and things like that are obviously their way. I mean, just obviously Godzilla himself, right? He isn't based on he isn't a true, like, there is no real Godzilla, right? I'm sorry, Tristan. I'm sorry. But,
what?
I know. What do you mean?
What do you mean, man?
I thought the only fake one was Zilla. But what I'm trying to say is this, right? They flirted with the idea before, but this one they just fucked it. Like, they just went in hard. Like, no flirting necessary. They were just like, we're gonna have sex with this, and which one? No, put the idea away. Don't delve into it further, everyone. Just take the idea, throw it away. But seriously, though, Like, they didn't sit there and go, maybe we could make a beam. No, it was just like, so we're going to get aliens, and they're going to invade, and then we're going to use this technology to destroy the aliens, and then we're going to have a space battle. Like, literally all of that. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, you guys went in hard. Like, this is a lot different. But it makes me happy because obviously in later installments they go potentially even harder, right, in terms of like, of space. So, or just aliens and things like that. So I think it's really nice to see their roots in this case because not that I've been waiting for this moment, like this would be the defining, changing moment that I would be so happy to see. Because, like, obviously, again, you'll always have me, not always, but at least, because I don't want to, I never say never. But at this moment, Gogeta is still my favorite, right, despite there not being anything super, like, sci-fi about it other than the Oxygen Destroyer. But still, I have to say that, I really enjoyed, the idea that aliens would, can exist and things like that. The only problem, like you said, is why are they so hostile? And that just lends itself to the time period, like the time period of, oh, hey, sci-fi movie. Are we going to work with the aliens? Well, that's not a fun movie. They want to kill us? Sure. It was interesting, like it's all like a lot of sci-fi. There's always this this underbelly, if you will. I can't think of the exact term, but like this, these references to real life at the time, right? So like if we're fighting an enemy, be it a Cold War or any other kind of war, it's usually like a representation of like you have the media where it's like there's like media as in like videos and TVs and movies and stuff like that, TV shows, stuff like that, showing like these unseen enemies that we're always ready to just think like, oh no, they're coming after us, right? So it's interesting actually to have this concept because usually these Godzilla movies have the humans, not the specific ones we're following, but humans in general being the aggressors. And it's actually funny in this case. And again, other Japanese sci-fi movies around this time also had aliens, so it's not like aliens invading is something new to Japan. But I do think it's kind of funny that you bring in an American, and he's like, I know what we should do. Have the aliens be the bad guys. And the Japanese are like, but what about us and our crimes? Oh, no. You were just trying to find new places. You were saying, hey, how cool would this planet be? But then, those evil aliens tricked you. Japan's like, okay. Now, I'm granted. I'm not saying they weren't going to write this in, the way that they were going to write this in. But interestingly enough, Saperstein actually, which I think was a good move, had them get rid of a press conference in the beginning. Because apparently they were going to start the movie off with a press conference, like, as usual, right? And Saperstein was like, no, get rid of that. Start the action off immediately. You can have the press conference later.
Right.
And honestly, I think it worked because it made the movie feel different.
Yeah,
compared to some of the other movies.
Them flying through space in the P-1, the rocket ship they were in. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, like it might be my American sensibilities. Matt, your American sensibilities are showing, but I do think it was a different take when, I do feel like, yes, these movies would have definitely opened up with that press conference we had later where it's like, sir, what are you doing about Planet X? That would have happened much earlier. And I'm not saying it would have destroyed the movie at all, but I do think that opening it up with the action was like, oh, damn, like, this is a threat. It's here. It's now. And then it's funny because they weren't supposed to be a threat at first, of course. They were lying and saying that they would give them a... Now, here's what's interesting. So between the dub and the sub, right, the dub said, hey, this cures all medicine. In the Japanese version, apparently, it cured cancer.
Right.
So... it is very interesting that they, made the switch. I think, for once, I actually praise the dub. Usually I don't do that with a dub, but I actually praise it because, in my opinion, it makes it seem like a better medicine to not just pick one disease, even if it's one that's ravaging us as humans.
Yeah.
It's better to pick all of them, because no matter what disease it is, right? If you say, "Oh, this will cure AIDS," again, that's like, holy shit, yes, we need that. But at the same time, if you said it cures everything, so you're like, wait, cancer and AIDS? Yes, give up. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just like, if you said it cures all medicine, or it's a medicine that cures any disease.
All disease.
First off, you also all disease. You get away from the idea of picking one specific one and making people who might have memories associated with that one thinking, because like it does give a good scale when you're like, oh, this cures cancer. But anyone who has memories of that, it's just like you don't want to be sitting there watching a Godzilla movie being like, right, cancer exists.
Right.
I'm happy to have remembered that while my monsters are going, like I'm happy to have, so like, it's no, but like I understand why the American dub the English dub would be like, no, how about we just make it any disease, all disease, because it just makes it sound like, oh damn, like that's gonna cure everything. We will be gods.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I find it funny. It's like, it almost seems like too good of a gift to be true. It's like, so
yes, of course.
Let's just get this straight. You're going to give us this that cures all disease on our planet if we just get rid of one itsy-bitsy giant monster for you. I mean,
okay,
yes, it's ravaging our entire planet. Well, when you put it that way, I guess that makes sense. I mean, we've literally thrown everything we have at it, and we cannot stop it. We will die if we do not get rid of this monster. All right. Well, when you put it that way, I guess that's a better trade. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, think of it like this, right? If someone was just like, I don't know, like if like I don't know how to like word it. Like to them, like giving away that cure is probably like us giving away like an iPod. Like, oh no, we're good, man.
Although it's
like,
funny.
Only one?
I wonder.
Only one cure for every disease? We're good.
Yeah. How or why do they even have that? If their species is more machine-like,
they're smart enough to know how the human body works. No, yeah,
but
because
then, like,
the idea is,
unless they're suffering from it as well, like it afflicted them in the past, and they've come past that. How?
But they knew they were coming,
even
right?
Engineer that in the first place.
But they knew the humans were coming. Also, to be fair, they lied. So I mean.
Yeah, to be fair, it's probably just a fake. It's not even anything in it.
Like, wouldn't that be hilarious? We're ravaging, like, we want you to become us. We're going to turn you into machines. However, we are completely 100% authentic. We are completely, though, 100% authentic. That is actually a real cure for all disease.
I mean...
Unless they're saying it's a cure for all disease because you'll become a machine like us if you drink it. But I assume that's not the mentality. But anyway, so what I found interesting, though, was later on, I mentioned earlier, I was like, the humans will become gods. What's her name? The one who was the spy from which, again, really makes you think about who we were fighting at the time, potentially, right?
Right.
Or just in general, just the idea of, like, all these spies. So, like, she was like, oh, humans are immortal, but sadly we can be destroyed. And I'm like, oh, honey. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, humans are immortal. I mean, like, I guess because we can reproduce, yes. But no.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, you see that giant fire-breathing lizard? Yeah, that thing hurts a lot.
Yeah. It can kill us, just like it can crush you.
Very easily. Here, watch.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Clearly watched through stock footage. We won't call it stock footage. I think that was the saddest thing. When you're sitting there and you're like, is this deja vu or no, this just happened.
Yeah.
Like, look, I have no problem with reusing certain clips. Like, look, I come from a background where, I've watched Power Rangers, Super Sentai, all that stuff, right? And Tristan, you've watched it with me. Yeah, I think you've watched at least more than one episode of a series, or a certain given series.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll see, like, in the first episode, they'll be like, yeah, we're going to transform, do. And then in the next one, depending on what's going on in the next one, they might not do the full transformation. They might just but they'll definitely use stock footage of certain things. Not all,
right.
because they're obviously going to be in a different location. So, like, if they're posing in certain ways, like out of suit, they're going to use the same stock footage. But when it comes to when it comes to the mech, right, the mecha, you've seen, like, one episode do, like, super punch, and then the next episode, oh, no, they're going to use it, super punch, and it's the same fucking stock footage. Maybe even
You've
the same dubbed line.
You've seen them all.
In certain respects, yes, right? In very small respects. That's what I'm saying, right? Such small clips are okay. But imagine if they would reuse fight footage, like the same fight footage, in the next episode. Like, fight for fight. Even if it was like, well, Matt, there were 2 fights in the next episode. Yes, but one of them was literally the fight from the last episode. Just flipped or something. Not good, man. Like, I just can't understand why. I mean, I do understand why, because money. That's the thing. Like, people talk about, like, oh, well, why don't movies get made more often? Why do I have to wait, like, 3 years for a movie? It's because if a movie's coming out once per year, right, putting aside any issues with the writing, right? Let's just put those aside. Let's pretend that every single one is Academy Award winning gold. But you then have an issue with the budget. Because, yes, there's always a budget. Even if you're like, oh, well, a movie doesn't have to be made for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Still, Deadpool was made on, I think it was $50 million. No,
something like that.
A lot cheap.
No.
Yeah, okay, no, maybe I was right then. $50 million, and that's considered. And I know that's today's prices, but still, and that's considered like meager, right?
Yeah.
And people watching Deadpool might be like, wait, that was $50 million.
Damn.
And it's like, yeah. Granted, it made back so much more, right? But compare that to something like Avengers or Star Wars, which, like, their budgets could be like $1 billion.
Right.
Literally, like $1 billion. Leon, Jesus, right? But then again, it's like, and then you come out every 2 to 3 years, right? Or even a little bit longer sometimes. But it's okay because then, everyone wants to come see it. And granted, at the time, of course, you wanted to go see these Godzilla movies. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see these in theaters either. Right? I'm just saying that it's, there's the budget takes a hit, is what I'll just say. Like, the budget takes a hit. And if the budget takes a hit, right, and you're releasing, like, Avengers movies every year, eventually, Hulk just can't make it to this one. Where's Hulk? Oh, yeah, no, he's fighting someone over there. Mm-hmm. All you hear is grr, grr, grr off camera. Oh, man, it looks like that hurts. Wait, here he is now. And then it's reused clips of him beating up Loki or something,
Right.
Oh, man, it looks like Loki came back and he beat him up. Wow, that was like, what? Oh, no, Hulk's off camera again. Like, that would be Avengers movies if they were made every year. Wait, what's Thor doing? Oh, man, he flew. Oh, well, we don't have that guy. Iron Man, why are you out of suit? I don't know. All right.
Oh, boy.
Well, Captain America's costume's the cheapest. Let's fight. Like, it's...
When his shield gets punched, it just, like, flops. 'Cause
it doesn't even flop. It's like Nerf. It absorbs the impact.
Right.
But seriously, right? Like, yeah, eventually you do a movie every year, and that's what's going to happen. And at one point, I'm pretty sure, like, let me make sure, I think this was the movie that I looked at you and I chuckled, and I was like, this is the second movie in the same calendar year.
Yeah.
Though I don't think this was the movie, but let me check. But anywho, so, like, okay. You talked about Planet X, and you were like, we got it, bad aliens. Why? But, still fun to see them delve into sci-fi, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, further.
I just thought, like, an interesting take would have actually been if it was legit, and they kind of expanded on it a little bit more. Like, it was, it would have been the humans and the beings of Planet X, like, teaming up together to be like, so we need to stop Ghidorah. It's like, oh, well, we've done that before. We can help you out with that. It's like, yes, but this, well, then I guess they'd have to delve into why they didn't have Mothra. But it's like, so we can't just silly string him together this time. All right, well, we still have Godzilla and Rodan. What else can we do? It's like, well, he uses electricity and magnetic fields. Maybe we could toy around with that and, you know, play into the idea of that signal that they were using. But, I mean, that was more for the beings of Planet X. But still, like, you know what? You get what I'm saying, though. Like, it feels like they could have delved more into that, and they actually just have the beings all team up together to fight away the giant monster, because from the first time you hear about Ghidorah, it's like, yeah, he's kind of a planet destroyer. That would make sense that he's, like, on another planet now.
So this was actually not, this movie was released in 1965. 1964 is when they actually released King Ghidorah in the same, or just Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, in the same year as they released Mothra versus Godzilla, which was like, that's the one that we were both like, what the fuck? It's been a while since we've done Godzilla on Friday Night Movies. But still, so that one we were like, what the fuck? Thankfully, they waited a year for this one. But again, the question, like, it still goes back to my point of saying every year a new movie.
Yeah.
That will create some problems. But to what you were saying, to what you were saying, though, maybe it's because of all the Mothra that I've been seeing recently on the show. But it, you know, and maybe it's clouding my perspective of, like, a lot of, you know, Japanese toku. But I feel as if it makes sense. It's a very Japanese thing to have had them be legit and then work together on a like, for some reason it feels like the Japanese would be okay. Like, I'm not talking about them personally. I'm talking about in their media. They would want to promote for the kids, like, oh, these people are coming together to work together to fight.
Yeah.
The bad guys usually have been either, okay, technically there is a burden on the people themselves, right, for bombing something. Right. But the bad guy usually then becomes the monster. Be it Godzilla, be it, you know, Rodan. Technically Mothra-ish, but, you know, that was in some weird territory. You know, Ghidorah. It's strange that they took it and it wasn't just Ghidorah. Actually, to be fair, Ghidorah, even though he is destroying, technically wasn't evil, quote unquote, because it's like, oh, we're the ones controlling Ghidorah. And it was like, well, that makes sense.
How is that for a plot twist? Oh, no, they're the ones controlling it. I mean, it works for the movie. Like, it was kind of interesting to think about it. It's like, how the hell are you controlling that? It's like, if they can, wait a minute, if they can control Ghidorah, does that mean, we're already controlling Godzilla and Rodan? Fuck.
Oh, I loved when Godzilla broke out of it. I love when Godzilla was like, have I just fucking been controlled? Oh, yeah. Fuck no.
Oh, hell no.
I loved it so much. That one scene of Godzilla being like, so am I going to have to fucking kill a Ghidorah? I'm going to choke one of your heads. Rodan, get the second one. Moth,
Oh.
You know what's really, you know what I would have? Okay, so I legitimately would have pissed myself if that. You might be like, Tristan, Matt, where's this going? Tristan, please understand. Nick Adams, right, the actor. This wasn't his first time in Tokusatsu, right? The guy who played Glenn. It was Nick Adams, right?
Oh, geez.
Was that his name? I think I got it wrong. Nick Adams. That is his actual name. Nick Adams is, in fact, his real name, who played Glenn. What I found interesting is he was recommended not just because of Saperstein saying, hey, he would be a good actor for this role, but he had already worked on Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Right. Oh, boy.
If we had gotten Tristan.
Oh, no.
Tristan.
No, Matt.
If Frankenstein
Matt,
had
don't
helped
go where I think you're going to go. Oh.
beaten up King Ghidorah. Do you understand how happy I would have been? I would have pissed myself.
Matt, he would have just absorbed his lightning breath because it would have gone into the bolts in his neck and made him like 20 times stronger and bigger, like a certain other monster we've seen on screen. Oh, God.
If we would have gotten...
would have Ghidorah, and he would have flown off and like Team Rocket's blasting off again.
If we would have gotten Frankenstein and King Kong...
Oh, my God.
I think I'll just stick with Frankenstein. No. This would have just been wonderful. I'm sorry. Oh, no, Mothra isn't here. Whoa, Frankenstein.
Who's the new guy?
No. There's like subtitles. Actually, it's Frankenstein's monster. I just wanted to be clear. Whoa. And then they all beat up Ghidorah. I would have been so happy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, Ghidorah broke Frankenstein's leg. And just like with Mothra, you just have, like, Frankenstein clamping onto Godzilla's tail as they slide up.
Or Rodan
I feel like sometimes they just...
or the monster.
I feel like sometimes they just reuse plots from older movies. No, but seriously though, right? Like, no, Mothra really made that recycled footage bit at the end problematic. Like, so we have to reuse the footage. Yes. Without one of the monsters. Yes.
Yeah.
For real? You know, I wonder if it's because they would have had to pay more money to get the two girls. Because if you had to get them...
Maybe.
Because you can't just introduce Mothra, at least at this point in the mythos.
Right,
you can't introduce Mothra without the two of them. Yeah.
True.
And then he has to explain to Nick Adams, like, what the fuck is it? Nick, he's like, come on, Glenn, we have these aliens in space. Yeah, they're in fucking space. The difference between space and Earth. Why the fuck are these two on Earth? We are here to say hello. Yeah, fuck you too. What the fuck? Like, just... What are these two doing on Earth?
We are here to tell you to open your mind, you stupid fuck. Oh. All right.
Well, speaking my language now.
Yes, we read it telepathically.
So, I have a question. How'd you feel about the Godzilla dance?
Godzilla jumping jacks. Yeah, that...
What the fuck?
I don't know. I feel like they just told him, like, yeah, so you just beat Ghidorah, like, you know, do some, like, victory jumps or victory poses or whatever. It's like the kids will love it. And so they did.
Yeah, clearly. That was so weird.
Yes, it was.
Dude, that was
very,
so weird.
Very weird.
Like, you know why I thought it was...
Score one for Godzilla on the Earth. Victory jumping jacks. What is this, Final Fantasy?
His thing, right? I have no problem with him doing it once. It's the fact they just kept on jumping up and down, and they kept it going for a while. I'm like, guys, why?
Guys. It's like, we're trying to make Godzilla cuter for the kids. Stop it.
Yeah, right? Like, just what is going on here? So here's something interesting, something I did not realize. Let me make sure I get this correct. Let me see. One of the astronauts was actually the scientist with the eye patch from the original Godzilla movie.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it's like, and here's a hint: it wasn't Glenn. There was two. Here's a hint, Tristan: it wasn't Glenn. But seriously, that's so crazy, man. Like, apparently he came back. But obviously it's been so long since the original Godzilla movie. To me, he looked completely different compared to the last movie he was in. Which, I mean, you remember the last one that we did. We were like, hey, he was the reporter guy.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, that was interesting. Anyway, so yeah, the sci-fi elements are nice. Now, how did you feel about the fights? I know, like, some of them were reused, but how do you feel about what we got? And did you think that maybe it was problem? Yeah, how do you feel? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, a lot of it is because, like, most of it was reused, and even, like, I enjoyed the fight on Planet X with Ghidorah, like Rodan and Godzilla both, because Godzilla just goes full force from the very beginning. It's like Ghidorah shoots lightning. It's like, well, I'm going to shoot my breath weapon back at you too, buddy. And it's like, yes, this is good. Keep this up. And then that never happens again. I mean, I guess, obviously, probably for budget. But I don't know. The fight seemed rather short, and I don't know what it is, but, like, I guess at least in the last one, it felt like, okay, yeah, Ghidorah is a three-headed monster, but it's like, it's 3-on-1. Any actual being, any animal, anything like that, even if you are more powerful, but if you've got three other things attacking you all at once, yeah, you're kind of going to want to get the hell out of there. So, like, I guess at least in the first one, I can justify why Ghidorah kind of flies off. He's like, yeah, you know what? I had enough of this shit. See you later. I'll kick your ass another day. It's like Vegeta flying off in the space pod. I'll come back to destroy you another day.
Yeah, basically.
But here, it kind of felt, it's like, you didn't really hit him hard enough to have him, retreat, guys. That's why I was saying, if, like, the humans and the aliens had come together and thrown something else at Ghidorah, like, that would have filled in that missing slot. That Mothra is not there. It's like, if the humans were able to, humans and the Planet X people were able to throw something at Ghidorah to weaken it or disturb it or, something in that regard, I feel like it would have made the fight a bit more interesting. So. And
that's the sad thing. Is that if they had done that, then it's like, well, we didn't save the budget. So it was really all about that budget, which really, in my opinion, hurt it. Now, granted, of course, it has to be about the bottom line. Like, I'm not saying they should, not think about their bottom line and try to make money, because that's like a duh. But I feel like the budget thing is strange, because I don't know if, like, it doesn't seem like Godzilla was dying in Japan. In fact, he was just starting up.
Right.
Right? So, because they only, really, pushed hard with him, starting with King Kong versus Godzilla, right? So I don't think he was dying. I think it's just them trying to release a new one every year to put in theaters, or it's even though they were making money and they were all getting released abroad. So I'm sitting there thinking, you must have been getting some good cash. But, I mean, again, just because the effects look cheap doesn't mean that they only spend, $10K at the time. Like, these would still be $500,000 movies. It's just that nowadays we look at the effects and we're like, people think, oh, I can create something better on my computer. Yes, times have changed. Doesn't mean that it wasn't expensive to, show, which I think was a really cool scene, showing Godzilla and Rodan being taken off into space. That, I was like, damn, that looks good for the time.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
I like that a lot. But still, that costs money. It costs money to have to... Also, apparently, they remake the suits every movie, even though I don't think they do anymore. I don't think they did it this time because, it made sense that when they remade the suit again once, right, now they've been doing it every year. But because of wear and tear, they might have to remake the suit every movie, and that's another huge cost to them.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Also, you have to have different suits, too, of course. You have to have, the posing suit, the fighting suit. But anywho, what were you going to say?
No, I'm just agreeing with the idea. Suit, replacing suits or recreating suits, that's also another big draw on the budget.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why it's just like, well, we have to get in Mothra's suit again. Would he have to transform? It would be weird if Mothra didn't transform, but then we can't have him transform on the planet because then we need the stock footage for Earth.
Yeah.
So to them, it may have just been a lot easier to go, we just won't use Mothra. It sucks to you and I because we're like, come on. Right? We're like, come on, Mothra, though. But, yeah, it just, it sucks. But yeah, so anything else you want to say about the film? I don't want to end it right here, but...
Yeah.
I
it's just a small thing, but I find it hysterical every time where we go... I don't know, just, it makes the movie smoother, but I always think about it. It's like, so apparently everyone on Planet X speaks fluent Japanese/English. They don't even make a joke like, oh, they have a setting for that, or maybe not a joke, but like, oh yeah, we have a translation device. It's like, it's just one line. That's all you got to do. All you got to mention. It's like, wait, how do you understand us right now? Well, we can translate it through our, X machine or, X implement that we have in our brains, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, all right, guys.
Yeah, it's so strange. Like, I don't, like, because, I guess the thought was, oh, yeah, they I don't know, they want to invade, they know the language, or they're smart enough to know it if they want to. But, yeah, that is a thought, right? Like, it's a thought that you're kind of like, hey, maybe, just maybe. Like, like you would introduce that line, like, it's a thought, but it did not happen, which is like, oh, then okay. Right? Like, I guess they just know. Sometimes you just know a language, Tristan.
I guess so.
But, yeah, I guess so, right? Sometimes you just know a language. Yeah, no, it's sad because I want to talk about this movie more, but, I don't want to sit there and be like, it's a paper-thin plot, because, like, I don't say this always, but I feel like in this case it's like, who are we, Tristan? Right? Like, it's such a paper-thin plot, and it's just, like, the worst thing ever. But, yeah, there wasn't much to this movie. Like, there could have been more. Yeah. It's so strange. It was an hour and a half. Yet it feels like they didn't really get much done.
Yeah. Oh, how did you feel about the photos for the supposed war on Earth? For when humanity was divided on, oh, we should bow down to their wills because we'll be destroyed if we fight against them, and the other half is like, no, we need to stick up for ourselves. Come on, guys. What the hell are you doing?
That sounds about right.
I thought it was kind of, I thought it was in a weird way, I thought it was kind of appropriate that they kind of glossed over it. Not so crazy about, I guess, the photos, but that would have been more things they would have needed to shoot. Like, film-wise shoot, not war-wise. But, it kind of felt awkward. It's like, I know you kind of got to get to the plot, and you can't spend a lot of time on that. You just established it as a thing that happened. It's like, now we get on with the movie, but it does feel
like something. Because it does feel like something that if they had the time or budget in earlier movies, they would have had at least one scene with, like, a bunch of people. Like, if it's just, like, 20 people saying, like, hey, I think we shouldn't do this. Well, I think we should. Like, they would have showed the protest in an earlier movie.
Right.
But I think, they wanted to get to the action, and they, and again, that would have been 20 more people you have to pay. So it's much easier just showing, bad stock images than actually, like, getting new, like you said, new things to shoot and everything. And it's just easier to show older, out-of-place stock images. Like, no, that shouldn't be here. All the out-of-place stock images rather than, doing something new and then having it cost more money. Again, it sucks, but it's all about budget constraints. And, and filming constraints, too, because, again, you have to film this within a year.
Yeah.
that's something crazy to think about too. Like we've been talking about the money as if like, oh yeah, isn't it crazy how much money I have to spend every year? But imagine having to film something in under a year.
Right.
And then like just have it pop out. Like, all right, we're done. There's your movie. So that, that like all that definitely kind of played into this movie being it's not a bad movie, but it's also not a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's not a great movie. It's adequate. It exists, right? Like it sucks because I feel like we're getting to a point in Godzilla's timeline, like of the movie's timelines, where the movies are just existing, and eventually they're gonna. Not that they're terrible, by the way. Again, I want to stress that I don't think this was like a terrible movie, and I do think that there were some parts of it, and maybe it's because parts of it are historic to me that I think maybe I'm giving it a bit too much credit in some respects, but
I mean,
still,
it had its interesting parts.
Well, I know it did, and I say historic simply based on the fact that again, this is when Godzilla went full sci-fi, like full on, full in sci-fi, right? And it set a trend, right? But so I feel like maybe I'm giving the movie a little bit too much credit in some ways, but I think that we're going to see the trend change, and in terms of not like it being sci-fi or more or less, but although I think maybe more, but not that specifically, referring to how good the films are, right? I think that's going to go up, and not because we're going to get to a nostalgic point where we're going to find out that Tristan's like, I saw all of these, right? Not that so much. It's just the idea that I think they're going to sit back and go, okay, A, we're not going to make these every year, or B, if we are, we're going to have to do certain things differently. And I think as we keep on doing these, the tone and the way that they're made is definitely going to change. And even though I have no way of knowing this, I personally I'm gonna make a prediction. When they start taking more than a year to release the movies, they'll start getting a little bit better, just a little bit, just a little bit. But again, only time will tell.
Right.
Yes.
Oh.
So
one scene I wanted to ask you about. So how did you feel when humans got back in their rocket ship? And it's like, yay, we defeated Ghidorah. All right, we're taking our cure for all disease back home. We're leaving. Godzilla and Rodan. Wait, where's our ride? Oh God, there it goes.
That was funny.
The
like
actors,
just that idea.
Yeah, the actors talking to each other. It's like, oh, don't you feel bad for us just kind of leaving them here? I mean, we did just wake them up, steal them from their home, have them fight another giant monster, and now we're just leaving them here. It's like, they've caused us enough trouble. It's like, I mean, to be fair, Rodan was there first on Earth before humans even ever came around. And
that might be another reason
Godzilla,
why you don't.
And then you nuked him.
Yeah.
So.
But that might be another reason why you don't include Mothra, because it's like, why would we not bring Mothra back?
The Islanders are like, you left Mothra on the other planet? What the hell?
Oh my God, that would have been terrible. Oh, come on, you guys have like 5.
Oh God. You just see
have like 3 others.
Is like another one's peeking out of the cave. They're like, no, shh, get back in the cave. We got to make sure we get your big brother back or your big sister back. You're going to miss them, seriously. No, I don't care if that means you get more food. Stop it.
Oh, my God. But just get back in the cave. Get back in the cave.
Get back in the cave.
But, yeah, no, so.
Come on. We have to use leverage against them. We got to have something.
We don't have 5, Mothra. We only have 2. Damn it, Jim! Get them out of here. We have 2, Mothra, but they're in their eggs. So we don't know when those are going to hatch, right? You hear a Mothra cry in the background? Fucking shit.
One last thing from me. One point that I did like at the very end when they're destroying the alien spacecrafts with the signal, which that all felt loosely tied together, too. It's like, so what does this inventor have to do with any of this? Oh, he just happens to have the one thing that can stop the space aliens. I mean, okay.
Well, wait, he was dating the guy's sister. And as we know, in every Japanese Godzilla movie, you need to have a guy who's dating another guy's sister.
Right.
Like, you got to have the three connected. Funnily enough, that was reused, or at least that yes, that concept was definitely, at least he was made the inventor in King Kong versus Godzilla. Except this time, string didn't destroy the machines.
Oh my God! But
I have to say though, I really.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really do enjoy the. If you had that string though, by the way, you'd be able to cut them in half. But still, I really enjoyed the fact that we, like, this inventor, like, he seemed very quirky, and I think that was funny, where it's just like, you could literally hear that from down the street. Oh, good, it's getting better.
It's getting better.
I was like, God damn it. Like, you think it's a flaw, and he's like, no, that's the best feature. And then I put it down. I wonder why no one's buying it. Like, it's just like he's just not a bad inventor, but he's an inventor who is not really, like, he's making useless, what some people consider useless junk, right? But it helps save the world.
Right.
Like, that piece of equipment that he was like, why is no one buying this? Helps save the world. So it is endearing, and it's kind of funny in a way. What I think is weirder is the fact that, like, when you say loosely tied together, I don't think it's a problem that the inventor created something that helps save the world or that he's dating the sister. Like, that all made sense to me. It's the fact that, like,
the company he's selling it to is the space aliens. It's like, we need to buy this. This can stop us. Wait, did we know that already? I think we knew that already. So why didn't you destroy it? I don't know. I thought we'd just put them in a containing cell and it would keep them in there. You know, they're humans. What the hell are they going to do? Oh, God, they're using the device. The only thing that can stop us.
Yeah, that's the problem. This movie, it didn't... No, because that's the thing. This movie didn't make it so that the humans were smarter. It made it so that the aliens were incompetent. And I know you could argue, oh, hubris... Right? Oh, it's but the thing is, they don't have emotions, so they're not supposed to feel like, oh yes, we are clearly superior. Like, no, they don't have emotions. They're robots. Supposed to be super duper smart and make calculations. So why the fuck did they leave him in there with that device? And more importantly, it feels like they generally left humanity to kind of like make a decision and think. And it's like, guys, you're invading. Are we really not gonna?
Right. That's the most dangerous thing you could let them do is think. What? Did you not read the handbook or what? Like, come on.
It sounded like you knew what humanity was about, right? Talking about how smart you are and your robots and everything. Like, you should probably know. Like, yes, you can't understand emotion. I get that. But again, like, I don't know. It felt like they were worse. They were dumber just because they were robots. Which I understand the idea of, like, look, I get the idea of, like, oh, we're going to kill you. No, because my love will keep me alive. Like, I get that kind of trope where it's just like, you know, I have human emotions that will have me overcome you cold metal machines. Get it, right? But the difference between that and, wow, apparently we miscalculated twice. Huh.
The computer's having an off day.
Yeah, clearly. Shit. But, like, really, like, imagine that, right? Like, it's just, you could have destroyed the device, but you didn't. Like, you know, in a newer movie you would, or not a newer movie, but in certain other, you know, in a different person's hands, you'd probably get like, oh, they destroyed this device, but thankfully I still have this one. Right? Which seems dumb to some, but I feel like you have to, like, you can make him smart and crafty, right? There's a difference between that and, or he'll try to build one with whatever he could have in his, you know, bag, which he's a crazy scientist, so he'd have, potentially a crazy scientist, so he'd have a bunch of weird stuff that he could potentially make a new one with. That, to me, makes sense, or at least in a contrived way can make sense compared to, wow, these robots didn't take it away. How super fucking convenient.
Right.
When, by the way, this is the thing they were looking for.
Yeah. It's like they were preemptive about this. They brought it before we even knew they were invading.
Yeah, no, it's not like, oh, I was patted down, but I hid a gun in my boot or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, but like seriously, like, no, but like people have done, like characters have done that. Like, oh, I've been patted down to like remove all of my weapons, but I hid a gun in my boot, a small gun, so I'm good, right? This is one of those situations. This is literally they took me because of my idea and my invention, and here. Now, some would say, but he had another, Matt. Yes, but again, like, you thought he only made one? No contingency? You are robots. You are literally robots.
Right.
Why? So that's what really is, like, throwing me off. Like, robots!
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Although their escape plan at the very end was intriguing, because that leaves it open for, like, so you guys are going to come back at us again, aren't you?
Well, you know, that's the one thing that I enjoyed a lot, because I know that this isn't based on comic books or anything like that, but I always get a little miffed, a little tiny bit, when I'm watching, sometimes a lot more than others, when I'm watching a superhero movie and the villain dies at the end. I'm not saying you can't throw them in jail, space jail, wherever kind of jail, right? I mean, look, there's a lot of different kinds of jails, Tristan. Ant-Man, one of them, actually has a jail where they basically, I think they freeze you or they put you in like a they put you in like a different dimension. And that's their way of like making sure you don't break out of the prison. And they're all run by Ultrons, but like these are good Ultrons.
Right.
Anyway, so yes, the prison is run by Ultrons, but still, the point is that like I understand put him in prison, whatever, but like just like every superhero movie, not every, but many superhero movies where it's like, oh my God, you're fighting the main villain, right, of this series. Or one of the main villains, or like one of the biggest ones you would associate with, this villain. That's so crazy, and then they kill him, and I'm like, really? Like, I think I'm still somewhat offended. Not that they killed Green Goblin, but that they killed William Dafoe. I'm still, even though I love Raimi's movies, I'm still somewhat offended of them killing William Dafoe. Just a little bit. And there's the list goes on and on and on, but that's one that just stuck with me. Like, William Dafoe, why? But you just, I don't know. Like, I just feel as if it's. I know some people are like, no, but I want my ending. I want my definitive ending, and I get it. Look, I'm not saying we need to open end every single movie, and every movie needs to have the villain running away till the next time. Like, I'm not saying you can't capture, right? But in this case, right, especially with these movies being made every year, right, especially with that happening, I think that there's no problem having them escape. You've defeated them, yes, but they've escaped to potentially live another day.
Right. I mean, that felt appropriate because it was like going on logic and everything like that. It's like that was the only tactical, like they needed to make a tactical retreat. So it's like, yeah, of course they were going to retreat. It's like, no, we're going to fight to the last alien space saucer. It's like, no, they're going to regroup and come back and kick your ass next time.
Yeah, also what wouldn't have made sense is if they were all destroyed, every single one of them, then what happens to Ghidorah?
Yeah, well, Ghidorah flies out into space like he does every other time and, goes to destroy other planets.
But the thing is that, like, so then in the original movie with Ghidorah, Ghidorah wasn't under their control?
No, not that I.
Oh,
not that I interpreted.
Under the impression. No. Oh, okay. So in the first one, he's just like, "Hey, I fuck up everything," and they're like, "Not Earth." Then he leaves. Then Planet X is like, "We can use this one."
Yeah,
and
that's what it felt like to me.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So now they still technically have control of King Ghidorah, even though they all left. So I guess not. And then the fight continued on Earth. Just because it's like, you again, motherfucker. You also again. Didn't even know why they were there. But,
Pretty much.
All right, fair enough.
And then Godzilla tackles him
yeah.
into the ocean, and he flies away again. And Godzilla stays in the ocean. Why does he always stay in the ocean? He always fucking stays in the ocean. Like, he doesn't even pop his head back out. Like, it's like, you know what? I'm done. And then just... I mean, I guess that's why later on they show him actually, like, swimming away, and you see him, like, walk across the seafloor into the sunset each time, instead of just sploosh. Well, he fell in. Well, he's gone.
Yeah. I'll say the end was bad. I think that's something we can all agree on. Well, no, because, like, I don't know. Personally, I feel like if you're going to have to reuse stock footage, it's best to reuse it earlier.
Right.
Where, like, if they had fought on Earth first, I know, like, to some people they think it might be worse because it's like, no, well, we just saw this in the last movie. Yeah, but if you have to reuse stock footage, use it first. Then take them to Planet X. Then it looks better because that's the new final fight main event footage. But it felt like we didn't get a main event. It felt like we got two, like, half fights. We got the one on Planet X, and then we got this one. Where I know it's like, but Matt, if you don't change anything but only, like, flip the order, would it really make it seem different? To me, it would. That's all I'm going to say. To me, it would make it feel different if you flip the order of the fights, because new footage, to me, always seems like something that should be at the end of a movie, where that's when, you know, all the big time
it would
moments
help you
are
end
at the
stronger.
end of the film. Yes, that's all, and that's what a movie should be about, ending stronger. But it ended on stock footage.
Right.
That's crazy to think about. Ended on stock footage. So, yeah, was not a fan of that. And I have to admit, though, I do like that for once a brother wasn't happy with a guy dating his sister. for one, no, because, like, every movie is like, all of us are best friends.
Right.
And for once, it's just like, I'm not a fan. It's like, hey, give her a break. You always side with the women. I love it. Just, Glenn, you literally always side with the women. And I'm like, God damn it, that's funny.
You're American. You always side with the women. Hey, man. Whoa. That's like, dude.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Whoa.
Hey, man.
Whoa, man. Hey. Whoa, man. Hey. Hey, man. Whoa. But, yeah, I actually don't know what else to say about this movie. Like, I don't know if there's anything else you want to...
Yeah, I think we're good. You might as well roll the stock footage, Matt.
Yeah, right? So it's funny. You would think that at this point I would just play me saying the outro as stock footage. You would fucking think, right?
Yeah, you
would fucking think. But I say it live every single time we do it because there's always something new that I might have to add on to it. So I always say it live. So
we're always
I'm changing
changing and adapting, Matt.
We are. We're changing and adapting stock footage. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for listening in, as always. Another episode of Friday Night Movies down the hatch, right? At this point, that's how it feels with these, with a little bit of with these Godzilla movies. Like, all right, we got another one down. But I don't hate them. I really don't. So we did another one, right? Don't know the name of it because there's 70, but pick one. But here we are at the end. Thank you all for listening in, as always. Yeah, nothing. Just this one, but the Astro one. But anyway, so you can find some news either on our podcasts, even our Let's Plays, Tristan. A lot of our Let's Plays that we have on our, no, all of our Let's Plays pretty much are on Those Guys Play. Some of them, though, I will have as live streams over on our Facebook, which is actually Those Guys on the Radio, our Twitter, which is also another one of our social media hubs, which is at Those Guys Radio, and also there's our Instagram, which is /Those Guys on the Radio. You can get all Those Guys related news on those hubs. We also have our main website, which is tgproduction.net, and on our main website you can actually get some lovely merchandise of ours, which is tgproduction.net/merchandise. This merchandise involves some posters, there's some T-shirts, either based on Those Guys Play or some funny stuff that have been said on Those Guys on the Radio. You can also go to our eBay, which is /ThoseGuysRadio, and on our eBay we actually have exclusive posters that you can only get on Those Guys Radio, drawn by our very own Anthony Sanandris, who, when it comes to Let's Plays, he's actually been on the show to play, we played Marvel Nemesis before, and Zombie. Marvel Nemesis for Season 2 of Those Guys Play, and Zombie for Halloween in July. And good God, Tristan, that game was horrifying. That game was so scary. I was terrified. And so we also have had Anthony on for Friday Night Movies for a while now, actually. We did a lot of nerdy stuff, like other nerdy stuff, like usually comic book related. And so he has drawn some posters for us, really, amazing looking stuff. You can go check that out over at, like I said, our eBay, which is /ThoseGuysRadio. And we also have our Patreon as well. If you want to support us through Patreon, you can go there and search up TG Productions. And you can, depending on what tier you donate to, you can get something fun. And for that, you can just kind of help us be us. Now, this is coming out on Friday. On Saturday, you could actually see me, Matt Marrero. This is not just for all of our fans, but specifically our pro wrestling fans. You actually see me at Legends of the Ring in Monroe, New Jersey, at the Ramada Inn, or the Ramada Hotel, and formerly the Crown Plaza Hotel. And I'll be there all day, right, selling pro wrestling merch, just generally interacting with you guys. Hopefully you can swing by. Selling a lot of different stuff, by the way, like selling T-shirts from Those Guys Play, selling trading cards, video games, DVDs, VHS tapes, and much, much more. Even some Funko Pops as well. So you can come on by, we'll have some fun, and hopefully get to come around and see me. Sadly, won't be able to do any podcasts live from there because we'll be having Anna Saturday airing that night. And also the fact that just in general, I have to work the booth, right? So it's like I can't do both. But we will be doing some live videos from there, just kind of telling you guys what's going on throughout the day. And it's a very fun event if you can make it, if you're in the area. $20 tickets. And there are a lot of interesting, wrestlers that are going to be there. There's Edge. There's Boogeyman. There's Simon Gotch. There's Jack Swagger. There's a lot of indie people as well. There's also, or it's funny, some of these wrestlers that I'm naming have left WWE, so they've technically become indie. There's Kelly, and Beth Phoenix, Velvet Sky, Bully Ray, and a bunch more that I can't even think of off my head. Corey Graves. Again, so many wrestlers. So many wrestlers are coming to this thing, Tristan. And, so if any of you want to go, check them out, legendsofthering.com, get your ticket today, and you'll be able to see me and hopefully buy some merch. So, So, and again, that's, if you're wondering, Matt, you never said the date. This Saturday, June 10th, is when it will be happening in Monroe, New Jersey. So, So, live, Tristan, did that long intro kill you? Or outro?
I am a machine. I do not feel death.
That sounds about right. Like, oh no, he's been turned. No, the whole time. Just the whole time. Nothing new. Oh, that's what Tristan would say. I am a machine. I do not feel. Oh,
wait,
Tristan.
You knew this whole time?
Yeah.
Well then. Supercomputer, what the hell?
I kept you because you were efficient. I could have said something, but you were efficient.
Surprisingly, that would be the best compliment to give a machine.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you really did know this
shouldn't
whole
have.
Wait.
Anyway, so, I think I am feeling explodes. Damn it, I lost a good worker. Anyway, so, thank you all for listening in as always, and hope you have a good time. Hope you had a good time. And, definitely, I would say definitely if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie for some reason, you should. I really think you should. Go with the original Japanese version, though. Even though I did enjoy the English, I'm still going to promote the Japanese more so. But, go check out the movie. Like, I don't think this is the movie you should, like, look, as negative as we've been in some ways, I don't think this is the movie that people should sit back and go, all right, so I give up on Godzilla. Like, unless you enjoyed pre-full-on sci-fi so much, you're like, no, I can't deal with this change. I don't care for these movies anymore, fine, right? But to me, I feel like this is just a whole new horizon, right? Like, this is like a brand new world. So this is like us on the precipice of something completely different and new. And that's funny, I say this as this movie came out in for Godzilla. His movie came out in 1965. But I mean this as someone who is watching this chronologically. This is something new to Godzilla. So if you don't like that shift, I get it. You don't have to watch it anymore. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be like, no, you must, right? Because that's on you. Like, you're allowed to not do that. But I look at it as change. And it's something that, like, as much as I love the original Gogeta, I can't watch that over and over and over and over and over again and get something new. I know some people say that you can, and I'm not saying you can't get something new in specific ways. Like, oh, I may have never noticed this before. Oh, I didn't notice that. But when I say something new, I mean a movie is a movie. A TV series is a TV series. Once it ends, or once that season ends, or that portion of it ends, something new comes later. You can choose to accept it, or you can choose not to. For me, I'm choosing to try to accept it and move forward because I look at this and I see something, exciting and different. And I want to see where that's going to take this franchise. Because all I know, I know names, right? I know, Mechagodzilla, right? I know, and other things as well, Mothra's going to come back again. And so, I know things from titles, don't know their plots, and I don't know where they're taking place, and I don't know anything else about them. So, to me, this is very interesting, where we're going to go from here. And, how the franchise is going to look and how the team-ups are going to look. Because now we've obviously already established, even through stock footage, that these monsters are fighting still. These monsters still hate each other. So, how is this going to, expand? How many more monsters are going to be introduced? And are there more monsters from other Toho movies that I can't even think of, that I haven't seen yet, that are going to join the fray? So anyway, that's all I'll say. So thank you all. I hope you have a good time. I would say night, but I realize we're losing in the middle of the day. So so I hope you had fun. So say good night, Tristan, or say good day, Tristan. I don't know. Say good, Tristan.
Yeah, well, either or. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good day, good everyone. I don't know. See ya.